Speaking of divisions that are bought in all the way, the NFC South, probably the worst division in football.
Awful.
Is anybody out there, if you have an opinion or a take on that, 703-718-6314 is the number to give it to us. But between the Bucs, the Saints, the Panthers, and the Falcons, there's not much that really instills confidence. Remember, the Bucs won last year.
Rebuild. All four of them, right?
Let's go.
Who's going to win this division? Does it matter?
All right, Bucs, clear rebuild. Saints, I'm not even really sure you can consider that a rebuild. It's just sort of mediocrity. Panthers are obviously in a rebuild, although that's kind of where they are all the time. Falcons, just bad. So start with the Bucs. Life without Tom Brady. It stinks.
Baker Mayfield. Who's having trouble winning the job against Trask.
That's right. And there's rumors that Trey Lance, they might want to trade for him in Tampa, which honestly, where they're at, not the worst decision. If you're for the 49ers.
Because they still have something left from that. The Super Bowl winning teams on there, that it could be one of those things where it's like if Mayfield and Trask don't look like they're going to get done, and the 49ers are willing to give up Lance, maybe, I mean, you're betting on an unknown, but I mean,
it's better than what they got.
But if you know, maybe the unknown is better than the known at this point.
Baker Mayfield is the opposite that we talked about with Joe Burrow. Guy who's super confident, doesn't back it up. It's just never really backed it up in this league.
I really want to like Baker Mayfield.
Me too. I did for a while.
And I still kind of do, but I don't think he's that good. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. No. I really want him to be good. I really do. It's just unfortunate.
So the Bucs are going to be not great. Yeah. They're going to be bottom 10 in the league probably easily. And you know what? They're fine with it because they won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. So you take that and run with it all day long.
Don't care.
The Saints, obviously this is life without Drew Brees, but they got Derek Carr now. I'm a firm believer that Derek Carr isn't nearly as bad as people made him out to be.
I thought he's a good quarterback. I don't see what people complain about. He seemed good to me.
He's a good dude, good locker room guy, which I think is important sometimes. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, he's been to the playoffs a couple times. Is he elite? No. But is he a top 15 guy?
Sure. Yeah.
He's going to start over a lot of guys in this league, a lot of backups in this league. Yeah. And the question becomes do the Saints have anything else? Michael Thomas has been hurt for what feels like 4 years. And I don't say that jokingly. I mean, it's such a weird thing for him to have been injured for so long for a guy that had so much talent.
I know, it's weird.
But other than that, they don't really have a whole lot. Kamara, I think, is suspended for a few games for that weird thing outside of the bar or whatever.
Yep.
And they were okay last year, but because the division was so bad, they were in it, but they weren't good.
Cam Jordan, right, for defense, which is great. But, I mean, he's getting older. I don't know. I just feel like they're just a team that's kind of a meh.
Yeah,
they're
exactly. Mediocre at best. Yeah. And so if this division is mediocre, they'll have a chance to make the playoffs because the division is bad.
Yeah.
But other than that, they're really not going to make any.
I mean, it's a 4-horse race right now.
It's really bad. And it's like the worst 4-horse race ever, too.
Yeah, I mean, they're all running really slow.
Oh, it's really bad. And then you got the Panthers.
One of them may have like a broken ankle for all I know.
Yeah. But the Panthers get a pass because they have a new quarterback, Bryce Young. Now, Bryce Young is rough first day. He's really small. And I know that that's a tired argument, but in this league,
he's small.
If Bryce Young was
not as small as a running back that the Dallas Cowboys drafted. Did you see that kid yesterday?
He looked like a toddler running out in the field.
He was fun to watch, though. I tell you what.
But you don't want him playing quarterback for you.
No. Different story. Yeah.
Right. So Frank Reich obviously is the coach there now. He didn't have a great end to his tenure in Indianapolis, but again, seemingly a good guy. He's taken over a team that doesn't have a lot going for them right now. It's going to be rough. They didn't look that good in preseason, and it's just going to be a rough year. And you hope, much like the Texans, that they just don't get this guy hurt. But
I like Bryce Young. I want Bryce Young to succeed.
I do too. It's just
I just don't know, man. I think they just got to keep him upright.
If he was
long
taller,
enough for him to get confidence.
So he got picked first, but if he was taller, easily would have been the best prospect since Andrew Luck.
Yeah,
and it's not even close. I mean, he played really well for Alabama again, playing a really tough schedule, playing in games that mattered, and was good. But this is the NFL, my man. Yeah. Everybody's big, everybody's fast, except for him apparently, because he's not. I mean, he's only as tall as he can be.
Yeah, great leader, great arm talent, just a small frame.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And then there's the Atlanta Falcons, and I want to give a shout out to UB, Uncle Barry, because this is his team. But Barry,
tough to be a Falcons fan.
It's not going to be very good for you. So Arthur Smith, it still blows my mind that there is a grown man named Arthur in the NFL. That's just amazing. So I think that they have Desmond
you've
Ridder.
now alienated the 2% of America's population. The 0.2% of America's population who are named Arthur.
Sorry. My grandma had a cat named Arthur. That's the last thing that I knew that was named Arthur. So anyhow, this team is not going to be very good. Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati is finally going to get the reins because they went the Mariota route last year. And despite how likable he is on quarterback on Netflix, which you should watch, he didn't really make it the whole season and everything. So they draft Bijan Robinson with a really, really high draft pick.
Yeah.
Not a good idea. They drafted Kyle Pitts last year, completely wasted him. And this is a guy in Arthur Smith that apparently wants to be a run-first dude. So I don't understand this. When you have a guy like Pitts who can do what he does on the field.
Pitts, they got Drake London, they've got Bijan Robinson. I mean, they've got all these offensive, but it's to me they're like the perfect example of like I think that like are they playing fantasy football in Atlanta? Like
exactly.
Let me draft a good running back and a good tight end and a good receiver and I guess maybe a quarterback who's good. I don't really know what Desmond Ridder is going to be. I mean, if he's not very good, they've always got the magic man Tyler Heineke from ODU coming back in, and he saw what he could do at Washington that made people feel just good enough where they were going to win, but not quite.
The not quite part is very important.
But then I just feel like the rest they forgot that the team is built in the trenches and with all those depth players, and I just don't feel like they have a lot of that.
No, I feel bad for you if you're an NFC South fan because it's not going to be fun football to watch. And
anybody can win though.
That's true.
It's anybody's year.